Hello, seniors. Welcome to your senior year and the video from the counselors. We usually do this in person, but this year, with everything going on, we are going to tape this and send it out to you. And hopefully this will give you a head start and some information on what you need to do for your senior year. The senior year can be overwhelming. So remember to ask for help. Don't be afraid to email your counselor. Make an appointment with us at any time. We are here to help and we want to help. So please ask for help. Deadlines are closer than they appear. So even if something is due October 26th, that is going to be here before we know it. So make sure you get in and ask questions at any time. This information is really important, and so make sure that you go back and listen to this again or watch these slides as many times as you need to. And again, when you're confused, email us and ask questions. So here are some of the things that you need to do and you need to know this year. Make sure that you're looking at your graduation classes, what you need to graduate. Like if you still need your senior English, if you still need PE, make sure that all of those are in your schedule. And for some reason they're not, again, make sure you let your counselor know. You need 250 credits to graduate. How close are you to that? Make sure that you know how many credits that you have. Right now, it's a little bit difficult to get on college campuses. So if you cannot make a college visit and get there, make sure that you watch the online videos that colleges are putting out. You can still make visits and go, but not as many. You can only bring a certain amount of people with you, so make sure you check that out. It's time to start applying for a college, so you need to start looking into that, whether you want to go to a 4-year college, a 2-year college, military, whatever that might be. This is the time to start looking into that if you haven't already. And there'll be some more information coming up about that in just a little bit, about 4-year, 2-year public and private schools. Again, on October 6th, we will be taking the ACT. All of the seniors will take the ACT. And that information, more information on that will be coming soon. If you're looking into what you want to do, you can Google that anytime. Look back on your Cooter to see what's interesting if you don't know what you want to go into. On the bottom there, it talks a little bit about scholarships and scholarship essays, and there's going to be more information coming out about the scholarships and the essays. Deadlines, I can't tell you enough how important those deadlines are. If it says it's due December 1, your deadline should be a week before that. And again, some more information will be coming up about that. Update your resume, make sure that is up to date. We'll talk here briefly about financial aid and then a little bit about life after high school. It will be here. May 16th is graduation, so that will be here before you know it. So those are some things that are coming up here. I talked briefly about this. Know your information. How many credits do you have? Again, you need 250 to graduate from high school, but you also need to meet all of the requirements. So some of you may have 250 credits already, but you have not passed government or economics. Those are the requirements you still need. And keep checking with your counselor to make sure you're good to go for graduation if there's a concern. If you need credit recovery, if you're not going to make 250 with the credits that you have right now, the credit recovery is started and ready to go. So if you need that, hopefully your counselor's already reached out to you. If you think you do, talk to them and they will let you know. And with that, I'm going to hand it over to Mr. Craig.
Hello, seniors. When selecting a college, it is very important that you make the selection that is a good fit for you. Not a good fit for your friends, but something that is going to work for you. Each person is different, and you want to make sure you're making that choice that's going to make you happy. It breaks down to two-year colleges where you can earn an associate's degree. You can earn a certificate, such as in welding. A lot of students will start at a two-year college to transfer their gen ed credits to a four-year university. Examples of those schools are Northeast Community College right here in South Sioux City, Western Iowa Tech in Sioux City, and then there's Metro Community College in Omaha. And then you have your four-year colleges, which you can earn a bachelor's degree. Many examples around the area: Briar Cliff, Morningside, UNL, UNO, Wayne State, USD. And the best way to figure out is to make a college visit. Mrs. Swanson had spoken briefly about that. If you can't get on campus, there's many virtual tours that schools are providing. All you need to go do is visit your school's webpage, go to the admissions tab, and there will be more information found there. Coming up, September 27th, the 28th, the 29th, and the 30th, you have the opportunity to register for a virtual college fair. Unfortunately, college fairs in person, there would be too many people in a space and not allowing for social distancing. So Education Quest has put on these virtual college fairs. As you can see on the screen, 4 dates, different times, and to click to register, you will receive this PowerPoint, and the website that you need to register is right there at the bottom. Where it says to register, click here, it's at the bottom. Please take advantage of this opportunity, and it'll really give you some insight on the various colleges in the area. Public versus private. When looking at four-year schools, these can be broken down into two areas, public and private. What is the difference? A public university is funded by the government, and the tuition might not be as high. However, in-state students will pay less than out-of-state. For example, if you're a student here at South Sioux City High School and you wanted to go to Iowa State University, your tuition would be more expensive because you're an out-of-state student. Some schools like USD, they have what's called reciprocity, where you'd be a student here living in Nebraska, but they would recognize you as an in-state student at USD. Private universities, which are a little bit more expensive, they're not government funded. They usually have a religious affiliation, and it does not matter where you live, the tuition is set. Once you figured out where you might want to go, you need to fill out the applications. These applications are found online at your school's website under the admissions tab. They're very straightforward. Some of the questions you may not know the answer to, again, reach out to your school counselor if you do not have the answer to that question. Very important. You need to tell your school counselor that you have applied, because we need to send your transcript and any scores that the school might want to have. It needs to come from us because it has to be official, meaning that we will put the school seal on it, sign it, and then send it to the school. In the past, it's unfortunate students do not tell us that they've applied, and then we send the information after the fact, and so it kind of delays the admission process. So make sure you let us know that you have applied. Now, during 5th and 6th periods in the library, in the week of September 21st through the 24th, the school counselors will be in the library helping you apply to colleges. We're there to assist you with questions and promote students applying to college. Mrs. Swanson's students, Monday, you will be in the library, 5th and 6th periods for assistance. Mrs. Panowitz's students, Tuesday of that week. Mr. Craig's students, Wednesday of that week. And Mrs. Hamos's students, Thursday of that week. Again, September 21st through the 24th, 5th and 6th periods in the library. Now, I am going to hand this over to Mrs. Hamos, and she will be providing you with more important information.
This year, it's really important that you watch your email. We send out important information via email to you so that you know when deadlines are coming up. But also, when you start applying to colleges, you will create an account with that college, and you will have a username and a password, and you must remember both of those. Once you do that, you need to log in to get important information from your college. So there are two things you need to do is watch your school email, join our Google Classroom also. But then after you apply to colleges and have that username and password, log in frequently to get information that is on your account. It's super important to remember your username and your password, not only when you apply to college, but with your FAFSA account, which I will talk about in just a little bit. One of the things when you start applying for scholarships and applying for colleges, they will look at your ACT score. And the universities and colleges will allow you to take the October and the December test, either one or both, and you can use those results for scholarships. As Mrs. Swanson said earlier, on October 6th, all seniors will take the ACT, and information will be coming out about that. If you are applying to a college that wants you to take the SAT, you would go to www.collegeboard.com and set up your account again and then register for the SAT. Some of you need to be a little careful though, because if you took an AP test, you might already have a username and password with College Board. So I know this is a huge question for seniors, but also for their parents. How am I going to pay for college? There are different types of financial aid, one being scholarships and grants. There's work study, where you work at college and then get paid as you work. And there are loans and different types of loans. If you would like more information on that, we know a lot here in the school counseling office, but we always like to lean on our friends at Education Quest. And this year, since we cannot do the meetings in person, they are going to do a virtual financial aid meeting. And for us, that will be Wednesday, September 16th. And we will send links out later. So again, watch that email. But at 5:30 p.m., the financial aid meeting will be in Spanish. And at 6:30, it will be in English. And Education Quest is a foundation that we work with closely, and everything is free to you. So at the beginning of the school year, you got a college handbook, and that came from Education Quest. So if you have other questions, you may also call them at any time and ask that for free. You never have to pay. In the past, after the financial aid meeting, representatives from Education Quest have come to school to help families do their FAFSA. And I have a feeling they will do that again, but it'll be by appointment and it'll end up being virtual. But more information will come out after our financial aid meeting. So what is the FAFSA that everybody talks about? It's a free application for federal student aid. You never should pay to fill this out. If it says it wants a fee, then you're on the wrong website because this is free. Before you do a FAFSA, you have to create an FSA ID. Not only you, but one of your parents does also. If you have an older sibling who went to college, your parent might already have a FSA ID, and then they'll have to remember that. So again, if you hear anything, it's important to remember your usernames and passwords whenever you create them. So you go to the website, and you will create an FSA ID. So fsaid.ed.gov. And you create your ID, and then by filling out the requested information, and then, like I said, one of your parents also has to have an FSA ID. That's your first step. After that, you will do the FAFSA, but you cannot do the FAFSA till after October 1st. But the sooner you do the FAFSA, the more money schools have to award you. So don't wait till April 1st to do your FAFSA and think you're going to get a lot of financial aid. After you create your FSA ID, you go to fafsa.ed.gov and complete the information by using your parents' and your 2019 federal income tax returns. By completing the FAFSA, it will tell you if you're eligible for a Pell Grant, and it will also tell you if you're eligible for student loans. But be really careful because your actual financial aid package does not come from FAFSA. It comes from your college. That's why we keep saying log into your account once you create your school account at the college and watch what financial aid package you might receive from them. There are also scholarships, and scholarships you do not have to pay back. We have our local website with our school website with local scholarships, and the link to that is right there on the page. You have local scholarships, you have national scholarships, and you have college scholarships. So you have several different places you can look. You can look on the web and search for national scholarships. Our local ones will start coming out heavily after Christmas. And then sometimes, a lot of times, colleges have their own scholarships too, but make sure you stay in contact with them because some have a supplemental form that you have to fill out. It's not just by filling out the FAFSA. So make sure you're in contact with your financial aid of your college to see what they have to offer.
Hello, seniors. This is Mrs. Panowitz. I am going to talk to you about scholarship essays. So you can actually start working on scholarship essays now. Some of the questions or some of the really common questions are listed there on the screen. Why are you deserving of this scholarship? Maybe where do you see yourself in 5 years? Why it's important to give back to your community, or what are your goals for your future? If you have other questions, come see your counselor because we have other scholarship essay questions that we have helped students with. You can also get help from your counselors after you've written the scholarship essay. We would be glad to look those over for you. You can also ask maybe an English teacher. However, just stick with maybe one teacher so you're not overwhelming them, or bring it to your counselor so we can help you with the essay. Your resume. Most of you should have written a resume last year in English 3 or in AP Lang. But many scholarship applications will ask you for a resume. So please make sure to update your resume so that you can attach it to the scholarship, and make sure that you put in your 12th grade activities and honors and things like that. This updating of your resume will really make your life a lot easier and will be very helpful for anyone who is writing a recommendation for you as well. So speaking of letters of recommendation for scholarships, if you are doing a scholarship, it's very likely that you will have to have a recommendation letter. Sometimes 1, 2, or 3 recommendations are required. So we need you to think of 2 or 3 teachers or counselors or maybe even coaches that you have a really good relationship with in our school. And you need to ask that person in person, please. Don't put a note on the teacher's desk and leave. But please talk to that teacher about the recommendation and ask them if it would be okay if they would write one for you. Please let them know too what the scholarship is based on. Is it based on academics or sports, leadership skills, activities? What is it actually asking for? Many of the recommendations are now online. So your recommender will actually just follow a link and we'll write the recommendation there. But if this is the case, please ask the teacher first before you put his or her email into the scholarship form, because we don't want them receiving that recommendation request first before you've even talked to him or her. So just be sure that you ask the person before you put their email in. And then also, it's really, really important that you give the teacher or the recommender at least 2 weeks to write a good recommendation. We all want to give you really good recommendations, but you need to give us time to write them so that they are really good, and hopefully you'll win that scholarship. This was spoken about before, but please never pay for scholarship searches or for someone to do your FAFSA. There are many individuals and organizations that offer this service for free, so there's no reason you should ever have to pay for someone to help you do these things. Please just see us and we'll help you through the process. Again, this was spoken about before as well, but if you're still struggling on what you might want to pursue after high school, go back and take that Cooter assessment again from NebraskaCareerConnections.org. If you forgot how to get in, just email us and we will let you know how to get in. But this, you took it when you were probably freshmen or sophomores, and you maybe had an idea back then, but maybe things have changed. Maybe your ideas have changed of where your interests lie. So this is a good idea. I often have my seniors take this Cooter one more time before they choose a major in college or before they go off into a career, just to see if they really are sure that this is what they want to go into. And lastly, we have a list of resources here. We would love if you would join the class of 2021, What You Need to Know Google Classroom. We have had hundreds of kids already join this class, but we would love to have all of you join that class. As well, you will soon see a senior survey Google form that is going to be emailed to you today. So please go ahead and look that over and fill that out for us, and that will give us some ideas on what you need help with or what your plans are as of right now. You were also given a college prep handbook from Education Quest, and they are, again, a great organization to use, and they offer a lot of free college prep advice, and their website is listed there at educationquest.org. And then you also may have already joined the Remind app class of 2021, but if you haven't, there is how you would join that. And we send out lots of important information on dates and just different things that will be very helpful for you for your senior year. Again, thank you for watching, and we really want you to know that if you have any questions at all, we're here to help you. Please do not hesitate to email us or come in and make an appointment with us, and we would be glad to help.